The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. Mark Raymakers here with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. I want to thank you for taking time out of your Friday here this morning to join us for our Single Premium Life webinar on how to sell single premium life. You may notice that every Friday morning at 10 a.m. we host a webinar on single premium life. And so if you've ever got a minute to sit down and join us, check out the webinars here on Friday, 10 a.m. Certainly register for them as well as if you cannot attend, because what we do is we email them out to you after the webinar so you have a chance to review them. I have a question box in here so you can go ahead and type in a question anytime that you have one, and then I can certainly address those for you as we go. And again, these are recorded, so you'll get that as well. Now, what I like to do after the webinar is I like to follow up with a phone call, because obviously I think the best way to help you is to kind of talk through your situation and see if this might be a good product for you. I certainly believe that if you're selling annuities or sold annuities or are in this insurance industry at all, you're going to run into opportunities. And we've been doing this for a long time now, 32 years. We've been offering single premium life. Back before it became such a popular product, we always could see the value of it for the senior clientele. So anyhow, with that said, we are a great resource for you on the single premium market. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I notice and recognize a lot of you on here this morning. Obviously, those of you who are on here that I do recognize and know that you've written some single premium life, so I know that you're fans of it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here this morning. So we're going to go through a few slides here real quick about IAMS, what we do for you, how we help you in your business. I know there's a lot of IMOs and FMOs out there that are competing for your business, and I'm going to go through some things that we do. We're kind of the boutique feel. So when you call in, you're going to get a live body to answer the phone within 3 rings. You're not going to go through a bunch of phone prompts just to get frustrated and have to hang up and start all over again. I had that actually happen with me this morning. So when I called a company. So, all right, let's go ahead and start. Right here, real quick, we're going to talk about a referred producer program. I know you love referrals. I know when I was in the field, I certainly did. But what we do is when you refer an agent over to us, we send you a check. And in fact, when they contract, we're going to send you a check for $50. Now, they're not in a hierarchy for you. You're not responsible for them in any way. You're just sending a friend over to us that's in the business. We contract them, you get $50. And then what we do is we put money into a account, and that sits there till the end of the quarter, and we will clear that. And basically what we do is we track their production. As they write business, we put 20 basis points per $1,000 of premium. Today for single premium life, if they write $100,000, you do the math, you're going to get $200 put into an account for you. So let's imagine if you set up 3 agents and they write $1 million in a year, whether it's through single premium, annuities, or traditional life, you're going to get $6,000 in cash. Of course, that 20 basis points per 1,000 doesn't necessarily apply towards a target premium in the same way, but you get the idea. So if you think of anybody you might want to refer over to us, certainly give us a call. Ask for Mark, and I'll go ahead and we'll get their name and their phone number, and we'll get them contracted and start sending you checks. Then we also do marketing reimbursement. This is something that I really liked. I know when I was out in the field, no one ever sent me a check for any of my marketing efforts. That all came out of my pocket. So what we do is, let's say, for example, you write $100,000 single premium life. We put $200 into an account, and every time you write business, we continue to grow that account. And so let's say this summer you decide you want to have a customer appreciation and you spend $1,000 to buy hot dogs and soda or lemonade or whatever, and you bring all your clients in and just, basically a way to say thank you. In fact, a lot of agents do that. A lot of agents will hold their reimbursement dollars until Christmas and have a huge blowout. We've got one guy, he spends $15,000 on a band. He spends several $1,000s on prizes. This whole deal costs about $50,000 a year to do this, and he saves up all year long. Then submits the receipt. So let's say, for example, let's go back. You spend $1,000. You send us the receipt for $1,000. We'll turn around and send you a check for $500. I know there's a lot of our advisors use it to buy their leads. They use it to cut their seminars in half. So whatever you're doing, just think of it's going to cost you 50% because we turn around, we reimburse you for your expenses. That's in addition to your commission. So keep that in mind. If you're not taking advantage of that, call and ask for Shelby, and she'll run you your report and find out what you have in your reimbursement account. Now, I notice there's a lot of new names on here this morning, so a bunch of you are jumping in. This is recorded, so you'll get a copy of this once we're done. But once you write $100,000 in single premium life, if you're new to us, you have a choice between three different options. You can take a $750 cash bonus, or to your subscription to the website service. Now, a lot of you probably have a website. You might be paying a bunch for it. But if you want to set one up, maybe switch over to us, or maybe you don't even have a website at all and you want one set up. You don't want to necessarily wait to write business. We can do that as well. So either way, you can buy it or you can earn it. And that's set up in one business day. You can call and ask for Josh or Tasia, and they'll get that going for you. Or you can take advantage of getting a free iPad. That's nice as well. A lot of those companies are going towards the electronic applications, so you don't have to carry paper around. You might want to wait till you get to 300,000 level. So maybe it's $300,000. It's single premium life or annuities, of course. And you can choose between the Social Security program and the 3,000 piece mailing. This is something you can earn or buy. This is a way for you to get in front of more senior buyers. This has been very popular, and those agents that are taking advantage of this are writing more annuities and more life insurance. So that's one thing. Or you could choose $2,000 marketing reimbursement or a $1,500 gift card to use as you please. Lastly, there's a 500,000 level. If you wait till you get to that point, you can take advantage of the 5,000 piece mailing and seminar coaching with Matt Gill, or 4,000 piece mailing and seminar coaching with Dave Pimper. Both of these agents, advisors, are top producers of ours. They qualify for our trips. They do a tremendous amount of business just by the seminar selling. So you can certainly earn it or buy it. You can call and ask for marketing. They can go through the details on that. Or lastly, you could just choose the Ritz-Carlton Travel Rewards program, whatever you like. Okay, our back office support, real quick here. We handle your business from submission to commission. So when you have a case that you're working on, we're going to find out all the information that we need to go out and shop the case, put together so we're doing the case design for it. We put together the illustration, shoot that over to you with the application. When you write it, you email or fax back to us. We scrub it. We put it in our database. So we have an electronic copy for you. And for our records to work off of, we'd work directly with the home office. We do all that back work for you, so you don't have to keep talking with the underwriters. We make sure everything is in, and we satisfy that part of the business for you, so it allows you to go out and do what you do best, which is selling, right? And then obviously when the case come back in underwriting, we get that approval, we forward that on to you, get you acceptance of the approval, issue the policy, and voila, the commission's in your account. So that's what we do. I will tell you one thing. I just spoke with one of the ladies in our office today. She had a case that came back. It was not approved as applied for. She fought with the underwriters on 2 different occasions and got it actually approved as applied for. So we will do that. We put on the gloves for you, and we fight with those underwriters to get the best offer available. And then, of course, there is the paperless contracting. If you go to our website, www.iamsinc.com, you can complete that, or you can call and ask for Mark, and I'll get you the contract. And then once you fill that out, you only have to fill it out one time. Anytime you want to add new carrier, we just do that without additional paperwork. So it's really efficient forms. It's nice for you. Our creative marketing team, now there's a lot here. I'm just going to go through this real quick. But Tasia, Josh, and Andrew in our office, they do some very beautiful work. Some of you on here, I noticed, have taken advantage of the branding, where we've created a logo for you. You put on everything that you have out there, so they can create brochures for you. They can use some that have already been created. They can customize them for you. They can help you through social media marketing. I'm seeing a lot of that on Facebook. I'm not a poster of it, but I like to look at it and see what's going on. And I notice a lot of our advisors have some stuff out there, really attractive social media pieces. So if you need help with that aspect of your business, we have an amazing creative team. I tell you what, they're young and they are up to date on what's really attractive out there today. So they're very well educated. Certainly give them a call and ask them to help. They'll step right up and they'll take over and do a nice job for you. Our website is www.iamsinc.com, and it's designed so that whenever you're out doing business on the weekends, before or after hours, we put in a long day here. You can call our office from 7:30, and I say to 6 o'clock, because there's usually somebody here Central Time. We're going to help you, but I understand when I was in the business myself, that I'm working till 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening or even on the weekends, the applications are there, any contracts are there, any forms are there. So our website is designed to help you when we're not available. So keep that in mind. You'll see that all the products are out there as well, and that is www.imzinc.com. Now, some of you are looking for some sort of assistance on doing the planning for your clientele. And just real quick, the retirement analyzer is something that we've utilized. Some of our advisors are using it as well. It's a very popular way to gather a lot of information, do some great reporting. You'll see this graph over here, or these graphs on there. That's what you're going to get. Now, for those of you that have trouble figuring out how to turn off the computer, this is probably not a good thing for you. And you laugh because there are agents I've talked to say they don't know how to turn it off, so they just unplug it from the wall. So this is a great program, and I would encourage you, if you're looking for something, to go ahead and call marketing, and they can get you some information on the retirement analyzer. I'm going to put out a real quick poll for you, and I'm going to have one more after this. And real quickly here, so you've probably heard what's going on with the DOL. And just recently, Steve Murray in our office, our executive vice president, put out a posting, I believe it was yesterday, actually, on the DOL. And so what we've done is, with that, the whole thing that was going on last year, we put together our own RIA. It is IAMS Wealth Management. And this is what we've done is we've got our own broker dealer that we work through. And so this is a great way for you to offer another piece of the financial planning puzzle for your clients. Now, you may have your 65, you may not. If you're interested in knowing about that, you can call IAMS Wealth Management or just mark yes. And what we'll do is one of our fine folks over there will give you a call, talk through the process. We will help you financially to complete that 65. Maybe you're with a broker dealer right now. You're not real happy with the fees. You're not real happy with the commissions. You're not real happy with the handcuffs they put on you. This would be another reason for us to talk to you. So again, mark yes. If you are maybe interested in providing some support, some managed aspect of the business where maybe we can manage the funds for you and get a compensation, we can do that as well. There's a lot of things we can do. If you're interested in speaking at all with someone in IAMS Wealth, I would encourage you to mark yes, or maybe you change your mind and you want to call our office, you can certainly do that, and we'll put you in touch with them. But this department has just done a tremendous amount of business in a very short period of time. And so if we can help, we'd like the opportunity to at least speak with you. So, all right, great response. I got about half of you have marked yes on this or no. So I will close the poll. We will have one of the folks from IAMS Wealth give you a call here later today and even into next week. So appreciate that. All right, looks like some of you are still voting. I'm going to give this one more second and close it down. So, okay, excellent. All right, they'll appreciate that. Again, if you change your mind, you want to have someone call you, just go ahead and do that. Okay, we are huge on training, and you'll probably notice that with our webinar schedule. We've got a webinar scheduled every day of the week. We also have 3 of these events a year. So real quickly, I'm going to go through this, and this is just a yes or no again. All I need you to do is to let me know if you were interested in knowing more about our training event or maybe attending our event. Now, we've got one scheduled next week. Unfortunately, that's full. It's too late to register for that. But we do have one on May 23rd, 24th, and 25th. That's a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll have another one after that, and that's it for the year. So what we do is we pay for your airfare. We pay for your meals. We pay for your lodging. So if you get this, IAMS Insurance Agency Marketing Services is paying to bring you to a training event to help you grow your business. Long and short, that's it, the Cliff's Notes of it. Here's what we're doing. We bring speakers in from across the country, top producers in this industry. They're going to share with you some of their most successful sales ideas. There's going to be not just ideas, there's going to be marketing ideas. There's going to be some samples of seminar presentations. So maybe you're considering doing that. We're going to help you to cultivate your block of business. We're going to talk about some things there as far as what you can do to do a little bit better job when you're visiting with a prospect or a client to look for other sales opportunities. We're going to talk about some new latest, greatest products that are out there. We're going to introduce you to some things that you've never seen before, unique products to the industry. In fact, there's a product we're going to go through that you've probably never seen before. It is one of the fastest growing products that we've got in our portfolio. It is a single premium type of product. So if you're interested in maybe looking at the agenda, mark yes. We'll email that to you. It doesn't mean you have to go, you have to attend it, but at least you want to take a look at it. If you're interested in the May event, go ahead and mark yes. We've got plenty of room for this, but I tell you what, it does fill up quickly. So if you're interested in any way, mark yes. Now, I will tell you one thing. If you're not getting free training right now from whoever you're doing business with, because I notice there's a lot of new names on here this morning I haven't seen before. If you're not getting the training now, why not take advantage of this? This is an opportunity for you to grow your life business, to grow your annuity business, and realistically even kind of cross over. Maybe you just write annuities, but you want to incorporate something else. I will guarantee you right now that going through this training event, you're going to learn some things that you haven't learned before that are going to grow your business. There's nobody that's attended one of these events that hasn't walked away with something that's helped them in their business. So anyhow, I'm a big fan of it. When I was in the field, I never got a lot of free training. I always had to pay for it. And so this is a great way for you to continue to invest in yourself, invest in your business. And truly, is there any better investment than one in yourself? I don't think so. So, okay, about 60% of you had voted. If you change your mind and you want to know more, all you have to do is just call our office here, and we will go ahead and we'll get you the agenda and an application to attend. Okay, super response. Okay, I'm going to close the poll now. Let's move on. Okay. So here's something we do. Pretty excited about this. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, but I did speak with the powers that be actually this morning, and they've been checking out some resorts for us to go to, and I think they may have found one. I can tell you it's going to be sandy beaches where it's going to be nice and warm. We're going to get out of this for the Midwest. You can appreciate the fact that it's been cold and snowy, and even those of you on the East Coast that have had multiple nor'easters this year, you'll appreciate the sun and the beach and the sand. So, but this event that we have, it's our marketing summit. What this is this is a trip for producer and guest, and qualification period started January 1st, goes through June 30th of 2019. Plenty of time to qualify for this trip. It is a lot of fun. We've been doing these for years, and ever since I came on board here, I've had a chance to go and meet a lot of great people. And I will tell you right now that once you attend one of these events, it'll be real hard for you not to want to come back. It is a great event. We just got back from the Boulders here a few weeks ago, and so we'd love to have you there and your significant other. So watch your emails. And if you come on to more of these webinars, you'll see. But we'll announce this where we're going to be going here shortly. Okay, with that said, let's jump into this. Okay, so single premium life is a huge, huge part of our business. If you Google single premium life, you're probably going to find insurance agency marketing services out there because we've been doing this for a long time. We've been helping advisors on a constant basis. We work with a lot of cases. We work with a lot of carriers. I would say right now in our portfolio, we have over a dozen different carriers we do business with. I'm excited to say that next week we're going to introduce 2 brand new products to the market. So mark your calendars to call Life Marketing next week, next Tuesday, and we'll have some information for you on that. So here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about why the product is so popular. I will tell you that I've been in this business since 1988, and I have never seen more, what should I say, rushing to the call here as far as companies introducing products, and companies that, I mean, annuity carriers that aren't normally into life insurance are coming out with single premium life because it's so big, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. We're going to talk about some general product information to kind of give you an idea about how it works. Where are you going to find funds? We are helping advisors every day uncover opportunities, where to look for funds. We've created some marketing pieces and some review pieces to help you in that process. We'll talk a little bit about the sales process itself. It's pretty simple, actually. If you're selling annuities, you can sell single premium life because that's where a lot of our business is coming from, annuity advisors. We'll talk a little bit about underwriting. One of the things I've learned in this business, when I first started, I had multiple declines because someone had a heart attack and no, companies didn't want them. Someone had cancer. No, they didn't want them. You're going to be surprised. Those clients that you've been walking away from are now going to get insurance through single premium life. And we'll talk about a couple different case scenarios as well. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's jump into this here. So really, really quickly, why is this such a popular market? Why are so many companies creating single premium lives, and why are they revising their products to make them more competitive? Because they know there is a lot of money. There's over 1.4 trillion. You're probably even, I think I've even heard $4 trillion a year that's passed on to the next generation. And a lot of those dollars are coming from annuities. A lot of them are coming from bank accounts. I mean, my goodness, there's so much money sitting in the bank. And what happens is they're just sitting there, just stale, lazy money that's not even keeping up with inflation. So That's one of the major reasons, because of all those assets out there that are getting passed on to the next generation tax inefficiently. So here's a nice thing. By utilizing single premium life, you're able to move these funds tax-free more efficiently, leveraging those dollars to the next generation. But here right now, I think this next point might very well be one of the most popular reasons for it. If you look at long-term care in and of itself, for those of you that are selling it, you know that the companies that are offering the product are exiting the market like they're leaving a building on fire. It's hard to price for. It's not profitable. There's only a few companies that are left in the business today. I actually have an advisor of ours that's what he specializes in, is long-term care. And I saw him here a month ago and he says, we need to talk about it. It's getting more and more difficult to get long-term care on people, and the pricing, the rate increase is 60, 70+%. I need some help. So that's a big reason right here. We're able to provide for long-term care and home health care for clients without any additional out-of-pocket funds. And the nice thing about this too is if they never use a benefit, they don't lose it. You know how it is with the typical standalone long-term care plans. Use it or lose it. It's hassle-free. I shouldn't say there's no compliance. It's limited. It depends on the type of product that you're going to be writing, because there's a lot of them out there. But the nice thing is there's no exams. It's super fast. And we're going to go through that here in just a little bit, how that works. Top commissions, up to 15% commission. So if you're writing clients that have annuities, you know what you're getting paid on annuities. I've written some in my day. They're not double-digit commissions. Here's an opportunity to go out to your existing clientele, show them something that makes sense for them, and double the commission. There's also guaranteed interest rates up to 3%. You're not getting 3% in a bank today. There's also that tax deferral. So maybe you've got clients that have money sitting annuities and they're just growing a tax time bomb for somebody, if not themselves, the beneficiary. So once you move it out of there, there's no more taxation on the growth in that particular contract. Again, new commissions on old annuities. That's one of the things I can tell you right now. I'll probably repeat myself. I have a tendency to do that. But I have an advisor that called in. He wanted help with annuity one day. And I started talking about single premium life. And by the time we were done, in 1 year, he wrote $1.5 million in single premium life in just 1 year at 15% commission. That's a great payday for him. Okay, so let's look at some quick general product information. What you generally see is the products issue from age 50 to 85. I need to revise this slide because we now have a carrier that'll issue up to age 95. So stop and think about this. Clients that are newborn up to age 95. That's a huge window of opportunity for you out there. The maximum premium is going to depend on the carrier, of course. So a lot of them base it on the net amount of risk. So the death benefit minus the premium. So they want to make sure that you're not within or exceeding $250,000 in net amount at risk. And so when we talk about a case, of course, we can narrow it down. And that's one of the things we're going to do. We're going to ask you a lot of questions about your client, your prospect. What is it that they want to do? What's their main objective? And then we'll dial it down to the carrier that works best. Some have a maximum death benefit of $750,000, some $500,000. Some of them will take $1 million. They don't care. They're going to go ahead they'll shoot the moon as far as a premium amount. I worked on a case yesterday for $1 million in premium. What a great opportunity for that agent and for the client, of course. Minimum premium is going to vary by carrier. The lowest we have right now is going to be about $5,000 minimum face amount. So whatever premium we need to buy that. I know as an investment banker for a while, I had clients that had $3,000 sitting in a bank. That was their final expense plan. So we'd move that into a single premium life, or we could do that today and get them at least $5,000 death benefit. Some of them are going to be $5,000 minimum premium, some $10,000. We even have some that do even higher amount, and it's based on the age. So just kind of give you an idea where that's at. This is what is nice. The underwriting is super simple. Table 4 is a standard issue. So most every carrier that we have out there that you see that offers single premium life is going to have a minimum of 4 table standard issue. I do have a couple that do a table 5 as a standard issue. We also have some that go all the way up to table 8. So as I mentioned before, a lot of you probably walked away from situations where you shouldn't. Keep in mind now we can go up to table 8. So don't walk away from those opportunities. They're non-medically underwritten, so there's no exam required at all. You just do the paper application and a phone interview. That's it. Submit it to us, and then we take care of it from there. Generally, what most of the companies do is they underwrite mortality, not morbidity. When you look at a long-term care application, they're looking at the morbidity, right? Now, we do have those carriers that will do both. And so I will tell you that if you're going to write one of those, Minnesota Life's got a great product. Lincoln Financial's got a great product. So what happens is we're going to talk through that and find out. We want to make sure that from a morbidity standpoint, they're not going to get declined. Now, maybe you've written a MoneyGuard product in the past. We do. We offer that product. We've had some declines. We've turned around. We were able to put it into a plan that only underwrites for mortality. So what does that mean? If your client gets approved for life insurance, they're in. They still get the long-term care benefits, okay? I kind of beat that horse to death, but hopefully you got the point there. Benefits. These are some things that are really attractive. So if your client says, hey, I'm not sure if I'm going to use that annuity or not, or, I don't know if I want to tie it up, we have products with return of premium. So if they put $100,000 in there and a year later they say, you know what, I changed my mind. I'm just not comfortable. I really need an income. 1035 that life policy back into an annuity with a full return of premium feature there. Again, the long-term care, the home health care benefits, we talked about that. Some of these products, what they'll do is they allow for a 10% free withdrawal. So like your annuity, maybe seeing an annuity now, we take that out. We got to pay the taxes on that growth in the annuity and then put it in single premium life. More times than not, your client is way more ahead after taxes, taken out of the annuity and put in a single premium life. But the nice thing is, as far as liquidity, as I mentioned, there's a return of premium, but there's also up to 10% free withdrawals. So if your client needs money, they can do that. Or, of course, they could take loans as well. They can transfer qualified and non-qualified funds. Yes, you heard that right. If your client has money in a qualified account, they can put it into one of these plans, and it will provide for these benefits that they can, that they need for long-term care. And we can also do it for those non-qualified accounts. We surrender the annuity, or if there's a lot of growth in there and they don't want to pay that tax all up front, we can stretch it out up to 10 years. Okay, so where do you find the funds? We've created several different fact finders. I've created one that I refer to it as the senior questionnaire, and this is a great piece. And keep in mind, I was in the field myself, so I'm not just a marketing guy that sits behind a desk and just makes up stuff as he goes. I look at the experience that I've had. I used to write 200 life applications a year myself, so I sat in front of a lot of people. I also speak with professionals such as yourself to get some feedback from you. And compiling this information, I've got a core to the table, top of the table advisor that I refer to periodically to see what he's finding out there. So the thing is I put this stuff together. This piece, the senior questionnaire, has been very advantageous for uncovering opportunities. What it really does is it hits on some emotions. And in that process, as you know, insurance really has got to be sold on emotions. And so that's what I've done is I've tied this into this form. We also have fact finders. They're as short as 1 page all the way up to 10 pages. So I can make those available to you. Of course, we want you to be contracted with us before we start providing all this information. I'd also encourage you to look at your clients that have got qualified accounts. I like to say, if you have not done reviews with your clients when they turn 70 years old, in fact, look at your block of business this year. Anybody who's 70 years old this year, let's go talk to them. Why? Number of different things. Because if they've got those qualified accounts, they're going to have to start taking RMDs. Okay, maybe they want to take a 10% free withdrawal out of their accounts. That's the other thing. If your clients aren't taking advantage of those, do that. Because you're going to just kind of whittle away at that taxable growth in that annuity account. So I've kind of thrown a bunch of things into here in one topic. The qualified accounts, 10% free withdrawals, the RMDs. What I'm seeing is a lot of RMDs are going right into the bank. So before your clients have to start taking those this year, ask them, do you really need these funds? If you don't, let's roll it into one of these single premium strategy products. And what we're using here is a SPIA and a whole life. Now, these are a package deal. You buy them together. We've got some carriers that have designed products specifically for that use. So what happens is when you move that money from that qualified account, it goes directly into the SPIA portion of it. That in and of itself is not taxable. It's when there's a distribution. So that distribution comes out once a year, every year for 3, 5, 7, or 10 years, depending on which particular product that you're going to be using. Okay. So of course, then the client gets a 1099. They do not receive a check. It goes directly from one pocket to the next within the insurance company, which is really nice. Okay. Now you might have a client who says, you know what? I got a $200,000 qualified account. I want $100,000 for income, but the other $100,000 you can move. So yes, we can do a partial. All right, let's go to the next point. Underperforming policies. I know when I was out in the field, I was writing those universal life policies like it was nobody's business. And obviously when I started in there, they were at 9.5%. Those policies aren't paying that now, right? And we all know that. So those policies are not performing as to the expectations that we had, or I had when I wrote mine. So I know if you're running into them as well, if you have a client or maybe even a prospect, ask them, when's the last time you reviewed your life policies? You might have some of the old insurance. Oh, what's that? Well, let's look at it. It's an underperforming policy. So we're saving a lot of those contracts by rolling them into single premium life today. You might also have clients, and we see these all the time, that are paying premiums for the rest of their life. And they're done. They're retired. They want to be done. They want to free up some income. And so what we do is we'll take those old policies, we'll roll them into one. They've got guarantees now, obviously, and they're also getting the accelerated benefits for long-term care. Underperforming CDs, excess checking and savings accounts. I'm sure that if you're advising your clients, your prospects out there, you're asking them what they have in their accounts. If you don't, or if you're not, I encourage you to do so. That's one of the things I learned. I was amazed. I had a client that had $1 million in their checking account. I had one that had $800,000 in their savings. Another one had over $900,000 in their savings. And why do you have such a high balance? And they said, because it's FDIC insured. Uninformed, uneducated. So don't forget to ask about that. There's a lot of opportunities here. Okay, so I'm going to go through this really quick because there's a lot of stuff here. As I mentioned when I first started, if you're in this business, you're going to run into an opportunity. And here's some things that I kind of want you to look at or think about if you're specializing in any one of these. If you're annuity, Medicare supplement, a life insurance producer, and then there's some kind of derivatives from there. But if you're writing annuities, when that client inherits money, and I see this a lot, they inherit money, an annuity producer is going to just put it into annuity because it's quick and it's easy and it's simple and there's no underwriting involved. You're going to have to complete 35 pages on that annuity app. But instead of that, ask them, do you need the income? If they don't, this is where you pivot to say, hey, I've got a product for you that's going to provide you long-term care benefits. It's going to grow tax-deferred. If you don't use it, it's going to go tax-free to beneficiaries. So look at that. Clients that are sitting with assets are not going to draw an income from. Now, of course, if they take money from an annuity that they have right now in that review process, hey, Mabel, here's an annuity that you wrote or that you purchased 15 years ago. You haven't touched it. Doesn't look like you're going to need it. What are your thoughts on maybe repositioning this into something else that could provide you some accelerated benefits for long-term care? That's one area that we haven't covered. That's one area in your portfolio that you're weak. You need some long-term care coverage. You get the picture. Ask them about those assets. If they're not touching them, let's look at repositioning them. Now, of course, any growth in that annuity is going to be taxable when you pull it out, right? If it's qualified, the whole thing's taxable. So we've got solutions to that. But I'll tell you right now that when you move those funds after taxes, the increase in benefit they're going to get for the life insurance offsets surrender charges, offsets the taxes that they pay, offsets a lot of things that might not make it attractive at first glance. So keep that in mind. Now remember, if that client's got $100,000 and they got 20, maybe they've got 20, they're in 22% tax bracket and they're going to pay $11,000 in taxes on that, for example, they might end up with $150,000, $200,000 death benefit. So if they go in a facility in a year, look at the benefit that they've picked up there. Again, I already talked about the checking, the savings, and CDs accounts. Let's look at the Medicare supplements. So one of the things that I've heard from advisors out there is obviously when your clients are buying Medicare supplement plans, they're looking to maybe consolidate. They're looking at their budget and saying, okay, what do we need here to make it through the rest of our life? And what are we paying premiums on insurance policies right now? So I see a lot of consolidation. They want to stop paying premiums on their life insurance. So ask about that. Are there any insurance policies that you're currently paying premiums on? This is an opportunity to maybe take those ULs that are underfunded and put those into a single premium plan. Kind of going here into the next point here, life insurance contracts. Again, those policies, those ULs that are in trouble, I've already talked a little bit about that. But one of the things to think about is if they have those, chances are they don't have any kind of guaranteed death benefit. They don't have any guaranteed fixed premium. And so I'm seeing a lot of these statements that come in where the client has to pay more premium to keep it in force. So this is an opportunity to combine it into a single premium life policy and provide them benefits that they don't have today. If you're selling long-term care, you know the story, you know the drill. What's happening there with clients have been declined. Clients are concerned or prospects are concerned about if I don't use a policy, I lose it. I've already talked a little bit about this. But we can put these into single premium plans. A lot of times they don't have money in the budget. They don't have $400 or $500, whatever it is, for a Cadillac long-term care plan, but they do have money sitting in an account somewhere that they're never going to touch. We can roll that into something and get them a plan put in force and, obviously help them to sleep better at night. So the sales process, let's go through this real quick here. Uncovering assets suitable for single premium life. So as I mentioned, I've got some things, and I'm going to show you just a part of a presentation that we've created. If you want to use that, I can make that available to you as well. So obviously in the process, you want to find the asset. And I'll tell you, it's a little bit of getting out of your comfort zone if you're not used to talking about it. But the first one is always the most difficult. Think of the first case you wrote, the first annuity you wrote, the first big life case you wrote. It's a little bit of a transition for you. But once you uncover that asset and you realize that they don't necessarily need it, and I do see a lot of situations where a husband and wife pass away, he passes away, she doesn't really need it because they got Social Security, got a pension coming in, whatever it be. And so this is an opportunity to help her to obviously cover her long-term care benefits, as I mentioned, and maybe pass on something to the kids or grandkids. So once we figure that out, give us a call. What we're going to do is we're going to ask you some questions. We're going to ask about their health. We're going to ask about what's their main objective. Is it to pass that on to the next generation or to a beneficiary? Or is it the situation where they really need to focus on long-term care? That's the main objective. And once we determine if it's qualified or non-qualified funds, then we're going to look at a product that makes sense. And again, we've got a large portfolio, and I don't expect you to know that and to be the expert. That's what we're here for. We're going to present you illustrations. We might send you 3 or 4 quotes from different carriers with all they have kind of the same objective in mind. And then once you complete the application, this is really easy. In fact, all you do is we'll send you the illustration. We'll send you the application. We'll go through that with you, make sure you're comfortable with it. You might be okay with it anyhow. A lot of times an advisor will get it, they'll look at the application, they'll call us, you ask us questions, we'll verify any questions that you might have. You complete the application with the client. I've actually we've had agents come in our office, and I sit here with the client, make sure that everything goes okay, or maybe even put us on a speakerphone while you're completing the app. Once you're done with that, all you have to do is call a toll-free number. There is a number generally on the application cover page. You'll call that number. You'll introduce your client to the phone interview person. That means you'll ask for the name. They'll ask for the amount of coverage. They'll ask for the Social Security number. They'll ask for the birthdays, some of that information. You hand the phone to the client. Now, what I've seen too is put it on speakerphone. And sometimes your client might look at you because they're not really sure exactly what they're asking. You can give them a nod. They don't want you to answer for them, obviously. But you go through that process with them on the phone. Once they're done, now depending on the carrier, some of them will actually approve it while you're sitting there on the phone with them. And once they've gone through the application, because that's what they're going to do, they're going to review the application with the applicant. They'll give the phone back to you. The underwriter will say approved or declined, or if it's one of those carriers that doesn't do a point of sale, they'll say thank you. Your client will hang up the phone. What you do then is you email, fax, or mail the application to us. Why do you do that? Because we scrub it. When it's your first application, there's always something missing, it seems like, or maybe there's a form that's missing. So what we do is we make sure that everything is there, it's complete, it's concise. We then provide it email or fax to the carrier, depending how the carrier wants it. That's not something you need to worry about. But we also scan it. So we have the application saved electronically. If you ever need to refer to it, if you want a copy of it, we have that, so that's kind of nice. But we also work off of that. So we create a work task force in our computer system so that our case managers are watching that case all the time. Sandy Vicani in our office does 95% or 99% of the single premium cases that are handled in the office here. And so she checks those on a daily basis. And as soon as she gets an update, she calls you and she emails you. So you're going to get plenty of information from us. So I already talked about the point of sale process. I hope everybody understood how that works. All you're doing is you're getting approval on the spot when you're with the applicant. And then after the policy's been approved, we communicate to you and we'd let you know that. Now, what will happen sometimes if you're not sending a check and you want to mail the check to us, even if you email or fax the application to us. That way we can get it scrubbed, we can get it into the company right away, and then we'll follow up with the check. But let's say that you're doing a 1035 from a life policy, or you've got an annuity that we're rolling over, or you're surrendering an annuity. What'll happen is then we go after that money. We don't go after the money until the client's been approved. So rest assured, you're not going to have a client surrendering a policy or an annuity only to find out they're declined. We don't do that. We wait till it's approved first. The company goes after it, and Sandy also puts some pressure on the company that's releasing the funds. So after that, once it's received, we get the policy to you, and your commissions are deposited in your account. They're very fast. We generally will issue these faster than what you'll see in annuities. So you can take that off the table of that fear of, oh gosh, it takes forever. Now they're not guarantee issue policies, of course, but they are simplified, as I mentioned to you before. We will order an APS, an attending physician statement, if we need to, but if they're clean, the policies are generally going to get approved within a week's time. So who are the players? All right, so obviously we've got a bunch of them on here. There's some of them I haven't included. Assurity Life, Baltimore Life, Equitrust, Elco. We have Gleaner that's in there. Lincoln National, Mutual Trust, National Guardian, National Western, North American, One America, State Life, Oxford Life, Minnesota Life is one I didn't include in there, Sagicor, and the list goes on and on. But these are going to be our top carriers that we're working with right now. So if you see some of those, you recognize them. You know, maybe you've got a contract with somebody else and you're just not getting the service that you want. We can help you with that. You can move the contract over to us here if you want to take advantage of our marketing reimbursement. You want to take advantage of our back office support that you're getting, the creative support. So keep that in mind. And if you do, just call me. We can discuss that. We do have agency level contracts. So we have, if you've got a hierarchy of agents that you want to get appointed, we can provide you a higher than street level commission. So you want to talk with me about that so I can help you. All right, so here's an example of one of the company's applications. So you probably are wondering, well, what health questions did they ask? So this is an example. Generally speaking, you're going to look at anything that might have happened within the last 5 years. Companies are going to really raise an eyebrow to. But I will tell you that some companies, within 2 years, after your client's been cancer-free or had a heart attack 2 years ago, those particular clients will not necessarily be declined. So don't walk away from those. You know, in the process of doing the phone interview, after you do the application, and make sure that your client also has their doctor's records, not the doctor's records, the doctor's phone number, the doctor's office address, and when they last visited. So let me give you an example here. Here's some cases that we've actually had that have been approved. So that kind of gives you an idea. And I hope as this process, we've talked about this here this morning, that maybe some clients or prospects have come to mind that you've written down, because I love to visit with you on them and see what we can do. So we had female 83. She was a type 2 diabetic on blood thinner medication, 2 blood pressure meds, and a cholesterol med. Now, that was approved. We had a male 78, had kidney disease, type 2 diabetic on insulin, has gout. That's approved. We had a person 68 years old, colon cancer in 2004, edema, high blood pressure, bone loss, approved. We've even had some probably worse than that. So here's some examples of abnormal risks that have been approved. Clients that have had heart attacks after 2 years with a full recovery, or bypass or angioplasty after 2 years. Cancer that's been in remission after 2 years with no treatment. Parkinson's after 2 years with no treatment. Stroke after 2 years, no treatment. Clients with pacemaker after 5 years have been approved. So what I'm trying to drill home here is that if you have a situation, don't walk away from a sale because you don't think they're going to qualify in underwriting. I've had more agents I've had on the phone said, oh, I got a prospect or a client, but they won't qualify. And once I ask the information and find out, they get issued standards. So some of you have been in this business longer than I have, and you probably remember you may have started selling life insurance and got tired of the declines, so you got in the annuity business instead. I will tell you right now that if you have been in this business for 30 years, 40 years, that underwriting has changed tremendously. If you look at the advancements that we've made in cancer, you look at the advancements that we've made with heart disease. I mean, if you remember someone who had a heart attack, they weren't going to get coverage. And even though they had a heart attack, they're probably in the hospital for weeks before they got out. I can tell you right now, I'm hearing stories where someone's had a bypass and next week they're back to work, or they had a stent put in a few days they're out of the hospital. I mean, it's just amazing the advancements that we've made today. So don't walk away. All right, so look at this. Here's an example. Let's just say that you went back to your existing clientele and you wrote a $100,000 case, one a quarter. That's only $400,000 in premium in a year. That's $36,000 in commission you're going to add to your bottom line that you're not getting right now. I know that you're going to reach periods where you have a slump, and you probably know when those come. And those generally come because of certain times of the year, certain seasons, right? So how do you get through that slump? I just let the cat out of the bag. You work through it, right? And that's one of the things I learned from my mentor, who's a quarter of the table, top of the table, is you work through slumps. You don't just sit and wait for them to go by. You plan through them. And one of the best ways that I've found to plan through them is to know when they come and to start preparing yourself for that. So go through those clients that you have. If you don't have a CRM system, a client management system, maybe you've got an office administrator. I've created a form that can help you with that. So what you're doing is you're looking for those clients that maybe, like I said, turn 70 years old, or maybe those clients that you know that you wrote annuities on 10 years ago, so they're beyond the surrender period. Go back to those clients and say, hey, you know what? I've kind of said this a few times already. This money right here in this annuity, you haven't touched it. You've been retired now for 5 years. Here's an idea I want to share with you. And if you do that once a quarter on $100,000, that's $36,000 you didn't have before. And that might even be on the low side, depending on which product you put it into. Okay, now I put questions here. Here's what I'm going to do real quick. I'm going to see if I can pull this up without messing it up. I want to pull up this presentation I said that I had for you. So let me see if I can just pull this darn thing up real quick here. All right, let's see here. Where'd you go? Here it is, right here. Okay, so what we've done is we've created kind of a generic presentation, and if you want this, I can email it to you. And some of this information is going to be proprietary unless you're contracted with us. So this is just one of a couple of different things that we do have. But what it does is it goes through, and this is one that you can print off. And what some of our advisors have done is we've emailed the PDF to them. They take it down to one of their print shops, and they have it on laminated cards or put it on a heavier card stock that's kind of a glossy finish. And so what you do is you just basically go through this. And I'm going to kind of flip through it real quick here to give you an idea of what's in it. But probably already had a chance to review this here. These are just some of the questions that you might consider running through or running past your client or prospect. That talks about single premium life might be the solution to some of the points already mentioned. And why would that be? Obviously, then it goes down to the different types of single premium life. There's a whole life, there's universal, there's an index life. So depending on the client's comfort level, so you're kind of discussing the points. You're not really selling it yet. You're just kind of talking about why might this be an important or a good product for them to have in their portfolio. So it's kind of an attractive piece, I think. If you're used to using something like that or you want something like that, we can certainly do it. Talks about there's some comparisons here, putting money in a CD, annuity, or a single premium life, how it compares, and on and on. So you'll see here, I think it's an attractive piece to use. If you want to use it, we can certainly make it available to you. And all right, so let's see here. Something else I want to draw your attention to is our Single Premium Life University. What I've done is I've created a series of videos, and they talk about all different types of topics. If you'd like to see those, call and ask for anybody in life marketing. We can get you the information on that. Okay, so one of the questions here looks like, and of course, again, if you have questions, go ahead and type those in the question box. Otherwise, you can expect a call from me. I personally will call you. I'll ask if you have any questions that what we talked about here today, and also maybe any prospects or clients that you're looking to talk to. We do have some pieces that we can make available to you. If you want to mail those to your clients, you want to email it to them. If there's pieces that you might want to consider getting a list and mailing to, we can provide you a list of seniors in your area at a certain age bracket. You can mail to them. And I will tell you they haven't been tested. So there's something to be said about testing your mailing. We do have a carrier that we've utilized for single premium life where they do mail out for you. So if you want to know about that, we can certainly help you there. So, okay, Keith says he has a couple of potential cases. He'd be interested in the fact finder. Okay, Keith, I can certainly get something over to you there. All right, Peter says, can we find commission information? Okay, so where can you find commission information? So Pete, Depending on the company that you want, we can certainly email you that commission information. Or what I do have is I've got a piece, it is a listing of our top 10. It's almost every single one of our carriers out there has a listing of the carrier, has their AM Best rating, has product details, and it has the commissions. So I can email that out to you when we're done here this morning. And if anybody wants that, you can certainly call and I can get that out for you. Okay. Any client-facing videos? Paul, that's a great question. I am actually working on one, and there's so many different things. I like to say I'm coming up with a lot of different ideas as far as videos, and that's one that I want to do. Is I want to do one where it is you can sit your client down, you can play the video, or maybe you can just have it constantly running in your lobby as clients are waiting to come in and see you. So that is a great question, and that's something that I do have slated here for the very near future is a client-facing video. We used to have one, but that product is no longer on the market, so we had to pull the video, and so that's no longer out there. But yeah, I'm certainly working on that. Okay, can I send you this PDF of this one here? I can, Jose, absolutely. We can shoot that over to you. Okay, I don't see any other questions right now, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap this up, but call me here. I'll be in the office all day today. I'll be here until at least 5 p.m. Central Time, so you can call and ask for Mark. And if I'm on the phone, I'll get back with you right away. Otherwise, you can't expect a call from me because I'd like to at least visit with you and see if this might be something that you might want to consider adding to your portfolio of products. Okay, Paul, email list of carriers and street commission, please. I can do that. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us here this morning. And I look forward to speaking with you here. Have yourself a great weekend, and we will see you on an upcoming webinar. Have a great day. Thanks.